I was surprised that the guys, that executives, his personal protection was apparently,
he didn't have any.
These people. Yeah. Well, that's not the way, in a society as unjust, with just the constant outrages and killing of our children, and, from everything from school shootings to, OxyContin and all this kind of stuff. I'm surprised there hasn't been more of this. It's a heavily armed society.
Yeah.
They'd be getting exactly what they deserve. Now, I personally don't do it.
I don't think he got what he deserves. What the heads of the insurance companies deserve is for their families and their children to lose insurance coverage. They don't deserve to be shot on the street.
Right. But, for instance, since the overturning of Roe v. Wade, 1,000 extra women have died who otherwise would have lived.
Well, we don't know the number, but we know of 3 for sure.
It's
probably around 1,000. You're probably right, Don.
Yeah.
And 26,000 women who were raped and impregnated in Texas were forced to carry babies to term.
And a lot of these women who died were tortured first. Now, we don't have pictures of the right-to-lifers in their leather aprons and their implements of torture, but they knew when they set these policies that most of these women would suffer horribly in the process.
Yeah.
I mean,
so is your point, Don, that you think that America is going to become more of a vigilante nation?
Well, I hope not. I'm a year older than you. I grew up in Detroit. I can remember an orderly, well-run. It was not a perfect society by any stretch, but it didn't have this weird edge that we have now.
Yeah, back then, over 80% of people trusted government, and government, by and large, worked for the people. It was before bribery was legal. Political bribery was legalized by 5 corrupt Republicans on the U.S. Supreme Court.
Yes,
and
I agree.
I put that at the top of the list of things that have destroyed America.
Well, the assassination of JFK that was so clearly, the official story was BS.
Yes,
the Vietnam War, then the deindustrialization. I mean, if you want to have a fascist movement, make sure that people who used to be prosperous blue-collar people are, twiddling their thumbs and drinking beer. I mean...
Yep. Well, that's exactly what's happening. We went from 2/3 of us being in the middle class to around 45% of us being in the middle class right now. We went from being able to raise a family with a single income to requiring 2.3 incomes to maintain the same standard of living. We went from my generation in our 30s controlling 21% of the nation's wealth to the generation that's right now in their 30s controlling 4.6% of the nation's wealth. And people are rightly pissed off. They just don't know where to direct their rage. They don't realize that this was a program that was put into place by Ronald Reagan with the explicit intention of reducing the size of the American middle class and increasing the wealth of the top 1%. It was unambiguous. This is
no question about it.
They thought they were going to save America.
I quote you on that frequently, Tom.
Yeah,
on the reduction of the size of the middle class.
Yep.
And middle classes are conservative. They're not big, but compared to what we're, I live where we have Trumpistas across the street.
Yeah.
With their flags and
Oh God. Well, we all have them.
Oh, of course. Oh, yeah.
Fox News is ubiquitous is the problem. Don, thank you for the call. It's always good talking with you. I appreciate the call. 49 minutes, it's almost 10 minutes before the hour here. We'll be right back with you. Stick around.